Okay, now let's continue discussing exercises in the workbook. Now, last time we finished exercise 1 from the verb phrasal unit 3. Today, we'll start with exercise 21. 21, page 16. Page 16. Now, identify each verb phrase in the sentences below. Call the first number 1 and so on. Then indicate whether each verb phrase is finite or non-finite. If finite, say whether it is in the present or past tense, in the indicative, imperative, or subjunctive mood. If it has overt concord, quote its subject. If non-finite, say whether it is infinitive, ing participle, or ed participle. Okay. Now start with number 1. Hussam?
Die here is a verb. It's non-finite and infinitive.
Infinitive. إذا هنا الverb die non-finite infinitive. Yes.
That is a verb.
What kind of verb?
Finite.
Finite.
Present, yes. فيها overt concord. Its subject is that.
إذا إذ عندنا هنا finite present شو كمان بدنا نعتبره؟
Overt concord.
Indicative.
Yes.
Yes. طيب.
The last thing I intend another verb intend finite. In present. Overt concord. The subject is I.
Yes.
And indicative.
Yes.
To do non-finite and infinitive.
إذا to do non-finite infinitive. طبعا infinitive with to.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Next. Next. Yes. Die traitor. What is die here?
Imperative. Yes.
Finite or non-finite? Finite. Okay, then imperative? Finite. طيب. Found.
Non-finite.
Found non-finite. Found. Is it? Does it have a tense found here? Does it have a tense? Yes or no? طيب, what is found? What kind of verb here? Where does this verb take place? When does this verb take place? In the present or in the past? Found. present ولا past؟
past.
اذا شو بنقدر نعتبره finite ولا non finite؟
finite.
finite لانه في tense. اوكي
Yeah.
لو found الباست. طيب pays finite. What kind
Present.
present
Present tense.
في concord
Indicative.
عندنا في concord هنا
Yes.
yes اذا pays اذا every man pays هاي concord subject every man with ايش with pays اللي هو الاس after pay. طيب next found. What's found here? Finite or non-finite? Finite. إذن finite. In the what? Past. Indicative ولا imperative ولا subjunctive?
Indicative.
إيش؟
Indicative.
Indicative. Yes, indicative. طيب lying هون lying شو lying هون؟
Non-finite.
finite ولا non-finite؟
Non-finite.
Non-finite. Present ولا past؟
Present.
Present.
Is it present here؟ طبعا فيش عندنا هنا لانه ما فيش عندنا tense بالنون فاينايت اذا we don't say it's present ولا لا؟ طيب ننتقل the next verb where. What is where here؟ finite or non-finite؟ finite. طيب شو التنسون؟
Past.
past. indicative ولا imperative؟
Indicative.
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 طيب. indicative. The next verb was finite or non-finite؟
Finite.
finite. التنس تبعه
Finite.
past.
Past.
indicative ولا imperative ولا subjunctive؟
Indicative.
indicative. Yes.
Indicative.
indicative. The next one. Next.
Can I try?
حسام ولا؟
Yeah, Hassan.
حسام yes.
Having considered his case very carefully, having considered non-finite.
Non-finite. What kind of non-finite here?
ING participle.
ING participle. إذا non-finite ING participle. Recommend.
Finite.
Finite.
Indicative.
Subjunctive, indicative ولا imperative?
Is it subjunctive? Because
Subjunctive, yes. Serve. That he serve.
Indicative.
لما تابع له recommend that he serve. Present ولا past on?
Present.
Present. في concord or no concord?
في concord. He.
When he serve, is this
Yes.
concord?
He served. Yes. He subject.
لا serve. Does it have concord with he?
Yes.
شو لازم نقول هي ايش؟ He serve.
He serves.
He serve. لا إذا كانت ايش؟ مش subjunctive. بس إذا كان subjunctive شو بنقول هنا؟ Can we use is here?
No.
No. إذا بنقول عنها ايش؟ Present. No ايش؟ No concord or no agreement.
Yes.
لو قلنا subjective إذا كان subjunctive قلنا no agreement between the subject and the verb. مش هيك قلنا؟
No. Yes.
طبعا الverb نفسه recommend عبارة عن subjunctive non-finite. طيب طيب be and be back and be asked.
Be asked.
Finite or non-finite be?
I don't know really.
Finite. يعني نقدر نقول was here, okay? But what kind of verb here? Finite ايش؟ Is it
Past.
subjective ولا indicative ولا imperative?
Be asked imperative. Be.
نقول and be asked is imperative. يعني are you ordering somebody to ask or to ask him?
Doctor,
طبعاً على
what's
الverb. Be asked and be asked.
Hmm.
إذا be قلنا عنها finite بنفس الوقت شو بتكون subjunctive.
so it's all related to recommend?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
be asked هي برضه be asked عبارة عن subjunctive ثاني. لأنه قلنا subjunctive ايش فيه؟ قلنا بكون
Wishes.
subjunctive بكون where تذكروا؟
Oh yes, yeah, I
هو
remember.
الفورموليك اكسبريشنز ذكروهم؟ فورموليك
Yeah.
اكسبريشنز. والثالثة ايش subjunctive؟ اللي هو فيها no concord اللي فيها الفيربس. فينا certain verbs هذول بكون subjunctive. اوكي؟ إذا be عبارة عن finite subjunctive present ولا past هنا؟
Past.
be
Be present.
present yes. إذا الفيرب هنا be عبارة عن finite subjunctive present. طيب has been done.
That is subject, right?
بس شلون has what kind of verb here has? Is it finite?
Finite, yes.
Finite. Okay. طيب التنس فيه
Past has been done.
no been is not here has been done it's present.
Yeah, present perfect continuous.
طيب إذا present perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
طبعا الجملة هون عندنا passive الفيرب has been. finite عندنا finite بيكون في passive yes. Next. Yes. Somebody bring me. شو bring me? Finite or non-finite? bring.
Non-finite.
Bring.
Finite.
Finite, present.
Finite. طيب present ولا past?
Present.
Present. Indicative imperative ولا subjunctive?
Indicative.
bring me لما نقول somebody bring me أمام.
Yeah, imperative.
Imperative.
Order.
إذن bring عبارة عن finite present imperative.
Yeah.
show. What of other verb show?
Finite.
Finite.
Present.
Also present. Yeah.
Present. شو كمان?
Imperative.
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 إذا
Present.
finite present imperative زي bring طبعا. Okay. Are we are here. What is are here?
Finite. There is
Finite.
finite present.
Present. في عندنا concord.
Yes, we.
Yes, concord. إذا are عبارة عن finite present في concord. Yes. Next. Do. What's the verb do here?
Finite.
Finite.
Present.
Present. Do believe me. Another do.
Finite.
Finite.
Imperative.
Imperative. شو كمان؟ Present.
Present, yes. Yeah.
I'm trying. هنا trying. The verb I'm trying.
Also, no,
Finite.
non-finite.
Finite. Present.
Present.
شو كمان؟
Indicative. I'm trying.
Indicative. شو كمان؟
And concord. There's concord.
Good. Concord. إذا I'm trying أول شيء finite. Present. Indicative. Concord في عنا. Okay, we have concord. Okay. Any question about this exercise? Any question? حد عنده أي سؤال؟ Okay. ننتقل لبيج 18. Page 18. Exercise 24. So this exercise is about tense, aspect, and voice. Now change the sentences below in a way indicated by the detailed instructions. Against each new sentence, provide one or more of the following labels for the new verb phrase. طبعا في هنا present tense, في هنا past tense, modal, perfective, progressive, and past passive. Now A, rephrase with the verb in the passive. The verb in the passive, number one. يعني we should change the sentence into passive. Where is the object in this sentence? Rahaf.
Me.
Rahaf.
Yes, doctor.
Where is the object in the sentence?
Me.
Me. طب نحولها شو بصير؟
Yes. I'm never taken to a restaurant.
نقول I.
Yeah, I
never
am
never
taken
taken
to a restaurant.
to a restaurant. إذا هون نحولها باسف شو بصير؟ am never taken to a restaurant. Next. Yes. Where is the object in the sentence? Sujud?
The object you. You are chosen as our spokesman.
Then you are chosen
Yeah.
as our spokesman. You are chosen. برضه عندنا passive بس present passive هنا. Next. Yes. Where is the object in the sentence? Where is the object?
This is drug.
This is drug.
This is drug. شو الأوكسيلري هون نحطه؟ This is drug what? Can we say don't?
Didn't.
إذا استخدمت اليدين هون ما هي don't أصلا simple present الجملة كلها simple present. Can we say this drug don't?
No.
No.
So
What can we say?
didn't.
This drug what?
was not.
وعندنا present الجملة don't.
Is sold.
Yeah.
Is sold.
This drug ايش؟
Is sold.
isn't sold لأنه في عندنا برضه negative
is-
don't.
Yeah. Is.
لأن شو بصير؟ This drug isn't sold.
Yeah.
إذا ما نقدر نقول don't be sold أوكي؟ إذا this drug نحطها البي verb isn't sold without prescription. Next. Yes.
Can I?
Sam?
Somebody shut the door in my face. The door was shut in my
Yes.
face.
إذن the door was shut in my face. The door was shut. لأن هون الجملة إنها past, so we use was. Next. Yes.
Can I do it?
Yes, Hussam.
Can I-
The dog bit several people badly. Several people were bitten.
Yes, إذن
Bad.
several people were bitten badly. Okay. Several people were bitten badly. Next. Rahaf.
Yeah, doctor, I want to try. This exercise must be done again.
مظبوط. And this exercise must be done again. This exercise must be done again. Next. Yes. عبد الرحمن.
As we can see the signal clearly from here. The signal can be seen clearly from here.
Good. Then the signal can be seen clearly from here. Yes. Good. Next. Next. Hussam.
He couldn't be beaten in those days.
Yes. Then he couldn't be
because
beaten. طبعا استخدمنا النيجاتيف هون لانه في عندنا ايش؟ nobody negative. إذن he couldn't be beaten in those days. Next. Next.
Doctor, can I try?
Yes.
The new bridges, or the new two bridges was built.
أول شيء عندنا two new bridges. عندنا plural.
Yeah.
Plural.
Where?
طبعا في عندنا is هون. طب كيف صارت؟
Is
أول شيء present ولا past الجملة؟
present.
present. إذن can we use was here أو where؟
No.
No. إذا بنقول two new bridges إيش؟
Have built or
has كيف حطي ابني؟ عندنا is be verb. You can't change be verb here.
okay.
have been built.
Have been built, yeah.
في عندنا auxiliary. Why are you bringing another auxiliary?
Are being built.
Auxiliary is. نستخدم نفس النوعية من البي verb. Okay. إذا two new bridges
are
yes are. ما دام في عندنا بي هون في verb اللي هو is we can't use have here. We use have when we have in the sentence. But when we have is we don't use have. We use البي verb نفسه. إذا two new bridges are شو نكمل؟ are what؟
being
being built.
مظبوط. Are being إيش؟
built.
built. إذا
Built.
2 new bridges are being built. Why do we use being here?
Because there's ing.
يعني
build.
continuous one اللي هو ing building. So with continuous we should use ايش؟ being. طبعا after being we should ايش use؟ الباست participle اللي هو ايش؟ built. Next. Next. حسام.
The cattle was being driven into trucks.
The cattle was being driven. Yes. نفس الشيء هنا. We use being لأنه في عندنا driving continuous. إذا the cattle was being driven into trucks. Next. عبد الرحمن.
Someone has eaten all the bread. All the bread has been eaten by someone.
مظبوط. إذا all the bread has been eaten. Has been eaten. Next. سجود.
The storm had sunk two of our boats. Two of our boats had been sunk by the storm.
إذا two of our boats had been sunk. Had been sunk. Good. Any question about passive here? Any question? Okay. Don't have any question. Let's move to B. اللي هو rephrase with the verb in the progressive. Then we should use a progressive verb. Number 1. Hussam?
I sit here by myself all day long. I'm sitting here by myself all day long.
Then I'm sitting. I'm sitting here by myself all day long. Next. Yes. Sujud?
My father ages rapidly. My father is aging rapidly.
Yes, my father is aging rapidly. Next. Abdul Rahman?
It rained hard during the night. It was raining hard during the night.
Then it was raining hard during the night. It was raining, yes. Next. Sujud?
You told us about your engagement. You were telling us about your engagement.
Yes, you were telling us about your engagement. You were. Next. Hussam?
I have bought some presents for the children. I have been buying some presents for the children.
Yes. I have been buying some presents for the children. Yes. Next. عبد الرحمن.
The plane had flown too low. The plane had been flying too low.
Yes, إذن the plane had been flying too low. Had been flying too low. Good. And a question about the progressive here in these sentences. And a question. طبعا هنا في عنا استخدمنا the present progressive, استخدمنا past progressive, واستخدمنا present perfect progressive, استخدمنا past perfect progressive. Okay. C, rephrase with the verb in the perfective. Then we should use perfect here. Tense. Number 1. Hassan?
He sleeps through every lecture. He has been sleeping through every lecture.
بس هون عندنا continuous one, progressive.
He had slept.
Yes, he has slept through every lecture. He has slept through every lecture. Yes. Next. عبد الرحمن.
You never show an interest. You have never shown an interest.
Yes. You have never shown an interest. Next. Sujud.
I never met her before then. I have never met her before then.
Then I have never met her before then. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Next.
Doctor, met here is past tense.
I never met. Yes.
So it should be I've never met. I had never met.
No, I'm going to say have, not had. I have never met before then. Okay, we can say had or have never met.
I meant that the original sentence in past tense.
Yes, in a past on a met. I had never met her before then. بس في عندنا then هنا before then نقول had. بس لو كانت عندنا I never met her before, we say I have. Okay. So we can use here had never met her before then. Next. Sujud.
The meeting began before my arrival. The meeting had begun before my arrival.
مظبوط. إذن the meeting had begun before my arrival. Next. Shra.
She must be very unhappy. She must have been very unhappy.
Then she must have been very unhappy. She must have been very unhappy. Next. Hussam.
I could find it easily yesterday. I could have found it easily yesterday.
Yes, I could have found it easily yesterday. Good. Any question about perfective? Then in this exercise we did passive, progressive, and perfective. Any question about these structures? حدا عنده أي سؤال؟ Okay. If you don't have any question, let's move to exercise 25, question tags. and contracted forms. Supply an appropriate question tag for each of the sentences below, as in the model. For the negative, use the contracted form. When alternative forms, example, haven't and don't are acceptable, give both forms. Okay. Look at the example here in the model. It is very cold today. The question tag هنا ايش؟ Isn't it? طبعا لما يكون ال sentence affirmative, the question tag بيكون negative. إذا sentence negative, the question tag بيكون affirmative. Okay. Number 1. لما
We are not too late, are we?
are we طبعا هون في عندنا we are not. لو كان negative the question tag بيكون ايش؟ affirmative. We are not too late, are we? Yes.
Yes.
Next. سعاد.
I am coming with you, aren't I?
I'm coming with you. Aren't you?
Aren't I?
I'm coming with you. Aren't I? Can we say are? I are. Can we use here I'm not I? I'm not I.
No, I think.
So why we use are here? Aren't I? Use are with I. نقول I are.
No.
I'm not I.
Yes. I'm not I. Yes. Next. Abdurrahman.
You understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Don't you? Yes, don't you? Next. Rahaf.
He is doing his best, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yes. Ishraq.
He has done his best, hasn't he?
Hasn't he? Yes. Next. Sujud.
He has enough money, hasn't he?
طبعا في عندنا two forms. اللي كان بريتش او امريكان. البريتش بنقول hasn't he. اذا امريكان شو بنقول؟
Doesn't he?
Doesn't
he?
Doesn't he? Yes. Doesn't he? Next. Suad.
He usually has 3 lumps of sugar, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Yes. Doesn't he?
Can we say don't we?
ايش؟
Can we say don't we?
But he عندنا he usually has.
Yeah, doesn't he? Doesn't
Don't
he?
use
Doesn't
we
he?
here لأنه في عندنا he.
I meant doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Yes. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Next. Sujud.
There isn't enough bread, is there?
Is there? Yes. Is there? Next. Ishraq.
There hasn't been a mistake, has there?
Has there, yes. Has there. Rahaf?
You can see what is happening, can't you?
Can't you, yes. Next. Suad?
You saw what happened, didn't you?
Didn't you? Yes. Next. Rahaf?
12.
Yes.
We all had a good time, didn't we?
Didn't we? Yes. Didn't we? Next. Sujud?
You will be quite all right, won't you?
Want you? Yes. Want you. طبعا want you will not here. Okay. Want. مش want. Want. اللي هي WON apostrophe T. Want. Next. Suad?
There won't be any difficulty. Will there?
Will there? Next. Abdurrahman?
You would be more comfortable here, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you? Yes. Wouldn't you? Next. Lama?
You had been up since 5 o'clock, hadn't you?
Hadn't you? Yes.
You.
Mhm. Hadn't you? Next. Rahaf?
We would set out tomorrow if we could, wouldn't we?
Wouldn't we? Yes. Next. Suad?
You'd set out too late and miss the train, hadn't you?
Yes. Hadn't you? Mhm. Next. Rahaf?
You didn't set out till after 8 o'clock, did you?
Did you? Yes. Next. Ishraq?
We need not do any more. Need we?
طبعا هنا في عندنا modal auxiliary need not. شو اللي question tag here?
Need we?
Need we? Yes. Need we? Good. Any question about taggy questions? Any question about taggy questions? And what are tag questions? Okay. So slide 26. Indicate by the symbols A, B, or C whether do in the following sentences used as lexical verb, interrogative operator, negative operator, emphatic affirmative, emphatic imperative, true form. Then we have six functions for the verb do. It could be lexical, it could be interrogative operator, it could be negative operator, it could be an emphatic affirmative, it could also be an emphatic imperative, it could also be true form. Number one. Hussam?
Do me a favor. Do an emphatic imperative. The first one is emphatic imperative.
إذا عندنا do me a favor. إن هنا do is what?
Emphatic
imperative. An emphatic imperative.
The second do is lexical, a lexical verb.
Yes, then second do is lexical. Then first do is what? Emphatic imperative. والsecond do is what? Lexical verb. Next. Next. Suad.
How do you do? Do be an interactive operator. Do a lexical verb.
Second do is lexical verb. First do is what? Interrogative operator. Next. Next. Sujud.
I do know you did your best. The first do an emphatic affirmative.
Emphatic affirmative, yes. Second do.
Yeah, did a lexical verb.
Lexical verb, yes. Next. Rahaf.
I don't smoke, and nor does Henry. Don't a negative operator.
Yes.
Does a proform.
Does a proform, yes. A proform. Next. Lama.
Don't do that, please. Don't a negative operator. Do a lexical verb.
Then don't a negative operator would do lexical verb, yes. Next. Next. Sujud.
Did you tell me you would be away? Did he an interrogative operator?
Interrogative operator. طيب, of course I did.
Yeah,
Proform.
proform.
Proform, yes. Proform. Next. Suad.
You forgot to post that letter, didn't you? Didn't see a negative operator and an interactive operator.
إذا تيجي طبعا two things here. في عندنا interrogative operator كquestion, بعدين negative نفس الوقت didn't. Negative operator.
Did, but I did post it. Did an emphatic affirmative.
Yes. An emphatic affirmative. Yes. Next, Sora. Sora.
I didn't do any damage. Didn't negative operator do lexical verb.
Yes. إذا didn't negative operator do lexical verb. Yes. Next. Lama.
Do that again. I didn't see it properly. Do a lexical verb. Or didn't a negative operator.
Negative operator, yes. Next. Next. Rahaf.
Do stop, it annoys me, don't you? Do بتكون اللي هي an emphatic imperative.
Yes.
Don't تيجي هنا a negative operator and an interrogative operator.
Yes, good. إذا do stop هنا عبارة عن emphatic imperative. Don't طبعا two functions here اللي هي interrogative operator وبعدين negative operator. And a question about the functions of do in what different sentences. And a question about do. واضح بالنسبة للdo. إذا do function as, or it functions or it has many functions in the sentence. Could be lexical, could be interrogative operator, could be negative operator, could be emphatic affirmative, could be an emphatic imperative, and could be a proof form. Any question about this exercise? Any question؟ واضح بالنسبة لكم؟ في أي شيء استفسار عندكم؟ Any question؟
No.
طبعا بالنسبة للامتحان، الامتحان عندنا ب 14 ولا لا؟ مظبوط؟
Yes.
ها؟ 14 شهر صح؟
صح.
في عندنا طبعا chapter 2 و chapter 3 بتكون داخل الامتحان. اوكي؟ chapter 2 chapter 3. الامتحان بكون كله multiple choice. multiple choice.
كم سؤال يا دكتور الامتحان؟
بس الامتحان صار اعتقد بجوز يكون 40 امتحان.
40 سؤال؟
امم
و40 دقيقة؟
لا اكثر من 40 دقيقة، نعطيك 50 دقيقة.
يلا منيح.
اوكي. Any questions؟
دكتور الأسئلة كيف نمطها؟
مالتيبل تشويس، بياخذ من نفس زي الجمل هاي موجودة، بس ايش؟ حولها مثلا بقول لك مثلا هاي الجملة دو مي فيفر، مثلا دو مثلا فيرست دو، شو الفانكشن تبعها؟ لكسيكال، انتروجاتيف اوبريتور، نيجاتيف اوبريتور، امفاتيك افيرماتيف اند سو اون. يعني بدل ما يكون هنا زي حاليا جمل بصير مالتيبل تشويس. اوكي. نفس الشيء مثلا بالنسبه للتاج كويستشن، مثلا we all had good time، شو التاج كويستشن تبعها؟ هل هي did؟ هل هي didn't؟ هل هي hadn't؟ هل هي don't؟ اوكي، يعني زي هيك. يعني بكون عندنا 4 wrong answer، 3 wrong answer، بكون 1 correct answer. واضح؟ Any question؟
دكتور
ها؟
دكتور، طب ممكن تنزل لنا محاضرة امبارح، أول امبارح
أعتقد نزلتها.
على
قصدك يوم السبت؟
البرنامج؟ أيوة تبعت يوم السبت،
أعتقد
تبعت
نزلتها.
المريمة. خلاص تمام.
أعتقد نزلتها، وهاي اليوم بنزلها كمان.
إن شاء الله.
أوكي. طال عندكم أي أسئلة بالنسبة للمادة اللي غطيناها اليوم؟ أوكي، إذا فيش عندكم أسئلة طبعا that's enough for today.